American Craftsman podcast is proud to partner with Montana Brand Tools. The West was built by people with strength and great pride in their workmanship. It was a necessity that early settlers of Montana have a strong will, a resilient character, and great determination to tame the rugged landscape while adapting to its dramatic climate. That spirit, made in the USA pride and craftsmanship, is alive today, both in how Montana Brand tools are manufactured and how they perform. Montana Brand power tool accessories are manufactured utilizing proprietary, state-of-the-art CNC machining equipment and the highest quality materials available. Montana Brand tools are guaranteed for life to be free of defects in material and workmanship because we build these tools with pride and determination. Montana Brand tools are manufactured by Rocky Mountain Twist, located in Ronan, Montana. Montana Brand's heritage comes from a long line of innovative power tool accessories. Use coupon code American Craftsman for 10% off your order at MontanaBrandTools.com.
Well, here we are, episode 40.
Wow, can you believe it?
Big 40.
That was a big year for me.
40?
Yeah, that was 19... I don't know. Let's see. That was 19... if I was 62, that was 2002. Right? I was born in 62.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the year we bought our house. That was my very first house. And that was the year
2002.
we moved to New Jersey.
I think I was in 7th grade or 8th grade. Must have been 8th grade. 7th and 8th, second half of 7th.
Yeah, who knew where you'd be in 40 years?
Yeah, wow.
So it had to be, if it was 40, oh no, it wasn't 40. It was when I was 40. It wasn't 40 years ago.
40 years ago was 81.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, here we are. Well, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, as always, in the frigid basement.
Yeah, it's like 60 degrees down here.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's 90 outside right now.
Oh, yeah, it's nice and cool and dry down here.
Yeah, I covered up the two. There's two supplies down here. I actually covered them up, and it's still
cool.
You know, we're about 7 feet underground.
Yeah,
so nice and cool. Might as well get into the beer of the week, huh?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be either a smash out of the park, grand slam, or this is gonna be send you back to the minors, young man. You just don't have it.
Uh-oh.
Well, I took some extra pains to keep it chilled to give it every benefit that it could possibly get.
Yeah, that 5-minute ride in 90 degrees. Mexican coffee funnel cake. Cream ale with coffee, spicy peppers, and vanilla. Interesting. Now I see what you mean.
Now, yes. Forgotten Boardwalk Brewing Company out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The short description is cream ale, but it's called Mexican coffee funnel cake with coffee, spicy peppers, and vanilla, as you stated.
Welcome to a carnival of epic... I'm trying to keep it in frame. Read it through the camera.
Yeah.
Welcome to a carnival of epic proportions that are sure to shock and amaze. Well-worn and deceptive in its familiarity, this beer is a compendium of elements of coffee, vanilla, and spice. We partnered up with the sommelier from our Cherry Hill neighbors, Melita Coffee. What? Sommelier for coffee? I don't think that's the right terminology.
Huh.
To create a specialty roast for this spiced-up brew. Needless to say, enjoy the show. I like the can.
Oh, yeah, the can's terrific.
Sort of,
like a three-eyed voodoo cat.
Yeah, like a tattoo flash-esque artwork.
Kind of a woodpecker and, yeah, on
like
a coffee
the colors.
cup. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. I got to figure out how to pour... I'm not going to get it this week. Not the color I was expecting.
No, especially as they describe it, a cream ale.
I mean, it is the color of a cream ale, but Just with everything that's in there, I don't know. I was expecting it to
Darker?
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a cream ale is this kind of like yellowy.
Okay.
Like a Genesee.
Oh, that's right. I had a friend from Buffalo that was big on the Genesee cream ale.
Wow. Cheers. I'm pretty full.
Interesting. You can smell the spice right off the top. Wow. I couldn't give it a verdict right off the bat.
That's very interesting. Brewed and canned by Forgotten Boardwalk Brewing, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Why is it Forgotten Boardwalk? Cherry Hill is nowhere near the beach.
Unless there's a boardwalk on the Delaware River. The one thing I'll say about it is a lot of these beers of late have had kind of these esoteric ingredients, I'll call it.
Yeah.
And this one, you can really taste some, like the spicy peppers.
Yeah. Mexican coffee funnel cake. I'm definitely getting like a churro kind of taste.
That must be the vanilla.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely there's some cinnamon in there.
Yeah, you're right. Wonder if it lists everything.
Yeah, that's the one thing about beer. It's not like food where, you know, you have to list the ingredients.
Yeah,
I guess it's not considered like a actual food.
But I think you're right about that cinnamon.
Yeah. It has like almost like a milky, like a milky kind of quality to it. It's good. I feel a little bit of the spice now.
Yeah.
Well,
I figured you would appreciate it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Let's get into the tool of the week.
Yeah. Bring it on. It's your week.
So, sorry, I'm still trying to get my mic adjusted. So you guys know we had audio issues. I'm not even going to fuck around with it. Had audio issues a couple times. And so this cord right here, if you're watching, goes through this boom arm and goes out to the mixer. And the one that we got had a bum cord in it, unfortunately. So tool of the week this week is the Gayacucho little flush trim saw. So I guess they're calling it the 1151. So this is just a little Japanese pull saw, but there's no set to it. So it's totally flat.
Yeah.
I know for a long time I tried to use a Japanese saw as a flush cut saw, and it doesn't work. You just mar up your piece. So this, you can actually set down. You can set down on top, press it down with your fingers, and cut. And, it's not leaving any scratches on the surface.
Right.
So use this for trimming plugs and Miller dowels, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even... you may run parts long, like I don't know. You run it. I can't think of something specific off the top of my head, but you run into these situations where you run a piece long and you just need to trim it off, and
maybe like a little piece of molding or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like I don't know. Yeah, maybe like a face frame. If you had a singular piece of hardwood edge banding, something like that. So it's good for that. Cheap, $15 or so. Super flexible. And, it's a sort of a unitasker, but it does what it does really well.
Yeah, you have to have one of those in the shop.
Yeah.
And the no set on the teeth is really
Yeah, I mean, you can't use a saw with set. And I think it does have two different types of teeth. The one side is a little bit finer than the other. So yeah, the Gayacucho 1151.
Dig it.
Flush cut saw.
That's how it's different than maybe a lot of saws you might find out there that have a similar appearance is the no set on the teeth, because
Yeah.
I've had one or two where, you know, the teeth are pitched out on both sides, and you can't use it that way unless you put something down like a card scraper, and then you still have to go back and
Right.
hit it with a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Very nice.
Yeah, about $15. Have a link down there.
Yeah. As always. Pick one up. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, Guy Cucio's good. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little blurb here someone wrote in. One of our patrons, Adam. He said, a few weeks ago, you were answering Eric's question about staying motivated and not judging yourself too harshly based on what you see on YouTube or Instagram.
Yeah,
I once heard someone sum that up really well and thought it might be worth passing on. Just because so many people struggle with it. The saying was, don't compare your backstage to everyone else's front stage. Man, I wish someone would have let me know that when I was like 18. So I thought that was good. I thought we'd share that with you guys.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
Yeah, we got a good question by Adam, too. Actually, I think that's our question of the week. So you can find that on the Patreon.
Cool.
Last week we talked about the theoretical Green Street compound.
Yeah, yeah.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, but, you know, there's always a dream.
Certainly not out of the picture. We're out of the realm of possibility.
The only thing that seems out of the possibility is my electrified fence. I think we debunked the myth
We did debunk that.
of the electrified chain link fence.
This beer, it has barely any carbonation.
Yeah. It's different, I'll say that. Get on to the first question of the week.
Yeah. I'm just pondering this beer. I don't know how I feel about it.
All right. Well, here's something else to ponder. This is from Dino, Koros Carpentry on Instagram.
Is that a Greek name?
I think so. You know, I'm part Greek.
I'm not shocked.
That Sicilian heritage, it's spread all over the Mediterranean.
And Northern Africa.
Yeah. That's what the other half of my family always likes to remind me of. So Dino, he's asking, do women use men that know how to build things? That's a provocative question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today's time.
I'm gonna say that how do I want to put this? I'm gonna pass it to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to say the short answer, and this isn't an all-encompassing, all-women sort of thing, but does it happen? Yes, definitely. And this is just part of the dance between men and women, you know, especially in youth and younger days. Women tend to use their sexuality as a bargaining chip, and men, we don't have that as much. So what are we going to use? You know, this is just sort of the mating ritual dance that goes on.
Yeah. I've never been so lucky as to my my skill set wanting to be traded for any type of supposed dance.
It's not a direct trade. It's not like a transaction takes place. You know, just part of the dance.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I feel like not so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not until you are deeply married until these things start, you know, where your specific skill set just is sort of like an expectation.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, well, you know, this is what you do, so can't you just do this or that? And, you know, not to say if there's anything inherently wrong with that, because we all have our strong suits, and, you know, why shouldn't we use them to our advantage? But do I think there's women out there who are like, hey, Dino knows how to build cabinets, so I'm going to go flirt with him and get some cabinets. I mean, maybe, but
Well, I don't know. I tell you, I used to get a lot of that. Rod, can you come over and hang some curtains for me? Rod, do you know how to put up this shower, Rod?
maybe I'm just naive.
But I can add on to this little question. It's not just women. I had, I'll say, a male, I can't even call him a friend, an acquaintance, a friend of
quarter?
my spouse's.
Yeah.
And this guy used to just use me for like, oh man, Rob, can you take me to Home Depot?
Oh, is this the guy who was like, yeah, it's like 2 minutes off the highway?
Yes,
And then
yes.
it's like an hour.
Yeah, it was over an
off the
hour to
beaten
get
path.
down there. And so, I was when I had first moved here, I didn't have a lot of friends. So I would go along and everything. And he didn't really know which end of the hammer to hold. And I was, can you do this? Help me with this. Hang these closet doors. Can you do this? Can you do that? So I used to say to my wife, the only time he calls me is when he needs something or needs like me to carry some stuff home in the truck. Oh, that's not true, she says. I said, watch this. First time ever I told him I couldn't do it, he never called me again.
You got off easy.
Yeah. So it's not just women and it's not just knowing how to build things, but I think if we all take a look at ourselves, we'll see we're all guilty of, moving those pieces around some way or another.
Yeah, it's just, that's human
It's
nature.
the dance.
Yeah.
So, Dino, it happens all the time in one form or another.
Not the comical answer I think Dino was probably looking for. But
Oh, yeah, you mean like the wah-wah guitar?
yeah.
Oh, Jeffrey, come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just getting out of the shower, but I wanted you to take a look at these bathroom cabinets for
we know
me.
that definitely does not happen. Only in the magazines.
Penthouse, I never believed those stories until...
I'm too young for that. We got one here from Tyler, T Asher 702 on Instagram. What's a tool that isn't designed for woodworking but you use in the shop?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a good one.
It is a good question. I could think of a bunch of stuff that's near related, like metalworking tools and especially like measuring tools, things like that, striking tools. But I was trying to think of something like good. The only thing I could think of is when we used my meat thermometer
For the steam.
for the steam box.
Yeah, now we got our very own meat thermometer for the steam box.
Yeah, I couldn't bring that back in the house.
What the first thing I thought of, I bought a set of palette knives, which are like little spatulas that you use for painting. For moving paint around on a palette and even putting paint onto a canvas. And I use those all the time for
Yep.
putty and epoxy and all that kind of stuff. Getting into little cracks with whatever it may be, glue or filler or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
They're pretty small. They come in different sizes. And I find that much nicer than using a putty knife. Putty knife gets kind of clunky and it's not really the right shape. Like you have to use a putty knife on the end, and the palette knife is like a diamond shape, so you can hold it and you still have a flat surface to scrape across with. So
Gives you that nice flex too.
yeah, putty knife just seems clunky after using that, and we don't use a lot of putty or anything like that, but when we do, it comes in handy.
Yeah, it sits right on top of the little container we have usually.
Yeah, I got a couple different sizes. They come rounded, pointed, and different lengths. I like the small. It's like maybe an inch long.
Yeah, it's nice if you're hitting like a couple little brad holes or something like that.
Yeah, like if you build paint grade doors and you shoot a couple brad nails in the back into the tenon, you swipe it over that real quick and you're good to go.
Yeah. All right. You want me to read the next one?
Yeah.
This is from Miles, one of our patrons. Eat, Drink, Wine Guy on Instagram. Hit him up. What's your secret to flat panel glue-ups? Biscuits, dominoes, clamping calls? I think you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. It's pretty simple. It's just really flat and square wood and parallel clamps and maybe some calls if you need it, but that's really it.
Yeah. We take a lot of time prepping the wood.
Yeah.
That's kind of our calling card. You know, we really in stages acclimatize the wood.
Yep.
Plane it more than once. So as long as you got a nice clean end on there and those clamps, I mean, these things just kind of put themselves together most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, if everything is the same thickness and it's nice and flat and, the edges are square, then it should just, go together. Granted, sometimes a board has a little bit of a twist or something to it, and you might need to work it together to get it to all line up without, having to sand the hell out of it. I think that dominoes and biscuits are a waste of time.
Yeah, me too.
They don't, the structure, biscuits don't really add structure. Dominoes add structure, but it's not needed because, the glue is stronger than the wood anyway, so the wood's going to break before.
Yeah.
Unless you have, like, some sort of cantilever, like a 24-inch overhang that someone's going to be, like, jumping on, I don't see the need to reinforce an edge glue.
Yeah, we had one guy, I still think I have PTSD from his glue-ups.
Oh, with hitting him with the hammer?
Yeah, his method was to tighten the clamps up and then smack down the joints as hard as he could.
So when you smack the right side, the left side goes out, and then you go smack the left side.
I swear, I jump out of my skin, be working over my bench.
Facing the other way.
Crack! Just not even with a dead blow, with like the hard plastic hammers. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, finesse I think is key on the on the glue up. And you tighten them until they just, you can move them with finger pressure, move them up and down to get them lined up. Then you tighten the clamp down.
Yeah.
You don't tighten the clamp down first and then try and move them. It doesn't make sense. Because if it moves, it means it's not clamped down.
Yeah. It always helps to be doing things over and over and over again. You learn the little nuances of your setup and all these things. So I think that's why those things don't present a problem for us.
I've been doing it this way for 40 years.
I have been doing it that way for about 20. So, the clamps make a big difference for me too.
Yeah.
I
think even if you're using pipe clamps or something, it's...
Yeah. Doing the over-under thing.
Yeah. I got one here from Peter. I think he's local to us. Rusterholtz Woodworking on Instagram. It's getting a little personal here. Do you guys have a monthly or yearly gross sales number per person to keep the lights on?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of go week to week. We get paid weekly, so I would suppose that's our weekly number, isn't it?
Yeah. To me, keep the lights on implies like not including what we pay ourselves.
Yeah.
So we won't get into specific numbers, but we have insurance, all of our subscriptions, which are like QuickBooks and Google Suite and that kind of stuff. That's really it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The shop is on Rob's property, and so there's no, obviously if we're not working, Rob's not gonna be able to pay his mortgage, but so it's kind of a complicated answer. So there's no like rent per se.
Yeah.
But
the business carries things at times, and it's so everything's equitable. Because that's a question that comes up with people.
Yeah.
But we don't have any problems with that. I think part of that is just that comes down to character,
Yeah.
Otherwise, again, harking back to...
Well, and it's not like you bought the house with the shop there, so
Right.
it's like the mortgage payment is the house and the shop.
Yeah.
You built the shop,
Yeah.
and then it ended up paying it off over, however
20
long.
years, yeah.
And so
yeah.
it's like kind of like the shop is just there.
It's there. It's-
yeah.
I mean, the shop was there when I worked at Tom's.
Yeah.
And
Just sitting.
I didn't even go in there for like a year.
That's when all the mice moved in.
That's true. I forgot about that. Because when we moved into the shop, there were all kinds of little mice nests and
Yeah.
everything everywhere in the drawers.
We did have that squirrel that was getting in for a while.
Yeah, yeah. It probably got too hot up there.
Oh,
Up
in the attic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of action the last.
Yeah.
Maybe they're dead up there.
That's I hope not.
Yeah.
You can smell that. Yeah, so I mean we just try and keep a positive cash flow.
Yeah.
There have been times, especially through the pandemic, where we're running out of work and we're going, what are we going to do next week?
Yeah.
And then we just start beating the bushes, and we're fortunate that we're both pretty much hard workers. We're not going to sit around and just take it.
No.
So we've gone out and rustled up some work.
Yeah.
That's the way that goes.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't always just fall in your lap.
No. And we're not afraid to go out there and make some calls and do things to see what's out there too.
Yep.
That was a good one.
We got a funny one here from our buddy Tim.
True trade, carpentry. What's your favorite woodpecker tool?
I'm trying to think of one that I do like. I could probably think on it for a bit. Listen, I'm a big hater on the woodpecker's tools because I see a lot of people who have like a job site table saw and like 15 woodpecker squares, and it just pisses me off because they got it totally backwards. People, they have this marketing thing and it's all subliminal and none of it's like direct. They're not like, you need these woodpecker's tools to be a
No.
good woodworker.
It's like a club.
But they put them in
mentality.
certain people's hands and put it in front of, it's all this influencer marketing and stuff. And I just don't see the value in the tools because, we use just regular, we use good marking tools, but nothing crazy. We don't have a wall full of squares. So I got a real bug up my ass about woodpeckers.
Plus they're red.
Yeah, and aluminum, which is, not a very accurate metal
Yeah.
because it fluctuates.
We don't have any woodpecker tools.
No.
I mean, if they sent some along to try, I would certainly give them a fair shot.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to send it back and say I'm not even going to try it.
Right.
I'm sure the stuff is decent or even good. It might be great for all I know, but I just find the need is not really there.
Yeah. For myself, when I've been in the market for something that woodpecker makes, not directly woodpecker, I've always chosen another brand based on, like a quality and cost comparison.
Yeah. What spurred this question is I sent this video of they have like a combo square that has like, they're like, oh, it's got detents at every inch. It's got a little flip thing that flips out so it doesn't fall down when you like put on the edge of a board. It's got all holes in the thing so you can draw lines. They're like, you can mark 45-degree miters. Who's marking miters? Like the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're not just marking long points, short points.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't get it. We don't use a 45-degree square, I don't think, ever in the shop.
That really nice one I have, that Japanese one, I think
the
last,
Shinwa, yeah.
last time I took it down was to show it for like tool of the week probably and maybe do a little bit of small layout.
I don't know what everybody's laying out so much. Most of these things are just like being worked out on the table saw or the
Right.
band saw or whatever with setting fences and fixtures and jigs and stuff. Maybe we're in a different type of realm of workflow. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
I
the
barely
thing.
even pull out the double square.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually that's to check something that's already kind of been done. Like
I use it to
gauging
lay
its
out screws.
accuracy,
That's
yeah.
the 99.9% of the time. And if I pull out the double square or a combo square, it's just to lay out lines for screws, which really I don't even have to do. I'm just obsessive over it.
Right.
They
They make something now. It looks like a woodpecker version of, it's probably about a foot long. Like, those drywall T-squares. I guess that's what it is. It's a T-square, almost like a drafting T-square.
filled with holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim's got like 3 of them. I was busting his balls.
I just saw it.
On the that combo square thing, they're like, yeah, you can draw lines every 1/16 of an inch.
Why?
Okay, you can, but for what?
Yeah, as an old draftsman, it seems like a more useful tool sitting at a drafting table and using it as a T-square.
But nobody does that anymore anyway.
No, I don't even do that anymore. I went to school for it.
Like, let's say you wanted to draw lines every 16th of an inch down a board. It would be more accurate and easier to just draw out a tick mark every 16th at the top and at the bottom and then connect them with a straight edge. Because then you're not worried about trying to slide your pencil with this thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be necessary on a board in the real world.
I'm going to drill holes every 16th of an inch.
Yeah, that's a small hole.
A 1/32 hole every 16th of an inch to make a slot.
All right, woodpecker. We're throwing down the gauntlet. Send us a tool.
No, don't
That
even.
will make us eat our words.
If Rob and I disappear, you know who did it. Those dickheads over woodpeckers.
This is from Manny, our patron to Manny Mistakes on Instagram and great friend and coworker.
Yeah, it should be coming by the shop pretty soon.
You want to read it?
Yeah. Is close enough a measurement ever used by you guys? And what are your thoughts on the phrase itself?
Yeah, I would say that we use that in an appropriate way. It's not to be taken as something that you use in your everyday terminology, like you're not being careful.
Right.
But there are some instances where, let's say we were adding a style onto a cabinet with a scribe on it. We don't really know how big that scribe needs to be. We have a general idea. So should I make that 2.5 or 2 3/8? 2 3/8 is close enough.
Yeah. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's like, if close enough is good enough all the time, then you got a problem. But if it in an appropriate situation, something that's not going to be seen, that's never going to be seen by the client, it's going to be covered up, then close enough is close enough. Let's say you're making an end panel and it's 4/4 with a rabbited, panel inside of it, and the panel's got an 1/8 inch gap on the backside. Wow, that's close enough,
Right.
because it doesn't matter. But yeah, if
you're making a door 1/8 of an inch
and it's 3/16 of a gap on the other side, that's not close enough. You can't use it as a crutch.
Yeah. If it's just a part of speech, it's certainly used. If it becomes an actual measurement, then you're in
close
trouble.
enough. Lou, 32 minutes, 45 seconds. First yawn of the show.
Oh, yeah, we go. Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was 1:06 last time.
Oh.
Or maybe not.
No.
I have to have like a yawn count at the bottom.
What's going on over your shop, Manny? Is close enough?
Close enough that's for a job. A+.
Lou introduced me to the expression good from far and
from
far
good.
from good.
Yeah.
That goes hand in hand with close enough, doesn't it?
Yeah. Shit. Prairie cock. For those wide open spaces.
Yeah, indeedy.
You got this one from AC?
All right, yeah. I know you all have discussed the domino, any opinions or experience on the Lamello Zeta P2? AC Brasso Designs on Instagram.
Down in Covington, Louisiana.
There you go. That's a name for Louisiana.
Yeah, quite appropriate.
I wonder if he says Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Is it Yankees that just say Louisiana?
I'd say it's probably more people than not.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. Maybe you could correct us on that.
So, I know you haven't used it, right?
No,
I haven't used the Zeta either. We were just kicking around the idea a couple weeks ago of getting one for this commercial job because we have some parts that need to be joined on site, for this wall.
Yeah.
This sort of applique, this decorative.
Like an art
It's a tree.
wall.
It's a tree that goes on a wall. I don't know how to explain it any better.
but not an actual tree. It's
Right.
sort of a cubist representation of a tree.
Yeah, very geometric representation of a tree. So, for those of you that don't know, the Lamello makes biscuit joiners and doweling machines and stuff. The Zeta P2, it cuts, basically, imagine a biscuit slot, but then the very furthest part of it has an additionally wider channel. So you can slide in these connectors that get locked into the groove, into the round mortise, the semicircular mortise, and you can have connectors that clip together, like straight in, edge to edge, like this, that slide in together, that connect with a locking mechanism with an Allen key. There's like maybe 4 or 6 different things you can use, and you can use it to just cut regular biscuits. It's like $1,500. It's definitely a cool tool. But I haven't used it, so really can't give a real opinion on it aside from the sort of cool factor. And I could definitely see, there's definitely been times where we're like, oh man, if we had that, we could have done this, but you make do.
Lamello makes good stuff.
Yeah, and we have used the Lamello biscuit joiner.
Yeah.
A lot. And it's a damn nice biscuit joiner. That's probably about a $600-$700 biscuit joiner.
There's a difference between it and Ryobi
or DeWalt. Everybody's used the DeWalt. The DeWalt's like, you feel that thing when you run it.
That was one of my first tools. I actually gave it away. It was before I even had a Domino. I just said I just don't have a use for this. I don't really like what I know about it. I'm sure there could have been different times I could have used it, but and I think Festool's starting to produce a line of like RTA type things.
Yeah, they've had them out for a while. I've heard nothing but negative things about them.
Yeah, I don't think the two things need to go together, like the biscuit and the Domino and these like I'd call them sort of like RTA assemblies.
Knocked down.
Yeah. So we don't have any hands-on experience. Our opinions on Lamello stuff are high.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you presented us with a specific application, we would say, yeah, we would dig having that, or we'll just do it the way we would normally do it.
Yeah, if we had it, we'd certainly use it. But, we've survived thus far. Yeah, there's even been times where it's like, if we had a biscuit joiner, I would have done this. But, there's only so much room for tools.
That's true. We've shed a few pounds over the year and a half, 2 years.
Get rid of the dead wood.
That's it. Dead wood out. This is a topical question here from Matt. First Do Construction on Instagram. Without air conditioning in the shop, what would be the desired humidity level to try and maintain?
I'd say in that 35% sort of range.
Yeah.
That's like typical indoor ideal humidity level, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm off by 5%
No,
or something. But I think that's about it. 35-40%.
From everything I've read, anything over 50 becomes humid,
Mm-hmm.
and anything under 30 becomes kind of too dry.
Yeah, like we have a humidifier hooked up to our furnace, and it's set at 35.
There you go.
So in the wintertime, there's like a little honeycomb wick that the pipe, feeds water to it, and the air goes by it. There's a little bypass. So right now it's bypassed. But yeah, that's what we keep it at, 35.
Yeah. I wonder what it is in the shop.
With the AC on, it's got to be close to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And these have been probably some of the most uncomfortable days we've had in a long time. These last 3.
Yeah, it's been hot.
And the humidity.
Yeah, New Jersey is very humid in the summertime. Very humid.
You're talking to a guy from Louisiana.
Yeah, that's true.
He's saying Pshaw. I see your humidity and raise you.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can't be as bad as it is down there.
No.
But I think sometimes it's got to be about the same.
Yeah, I mean, we've hit 90%, haven't we, up here?
I don't know.
Or is that possible? Could that just be the temperature?
No, I mean, there's times where it's 100% if it's raining.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I wonder what it is these last few days. Like, I wonder what it was yesterday. Because that would have been a good gauge.
U.S. Midwest and Mississippi have recorded dew point temperatures above 80. I don't know what that means. We can see what it is right now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as it was yesterday.
I'm going to guess it's in like the 70s. 76%.
Okay. So it had to be at least in the low 80s yesterday as far as humidity.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep it under 50. That's what I would say.
Yeah, anything under 50 and you'll be all right.
Yeah, you won't be in for catastrophic failure.
That sounds so comforting. You want to read the next one?
Yeah, I got one here from our buddy Kevin. He's one of our patrons, Kevin McMahon on Instagram. What are common areas clients don't spend enough time or money on in a project?
You know, I know that we've experienced it, and we kind of worked through it with that kitchen job. But I'm always disappointed at how little clients seem to care about the drawer boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That, you could say, yeah, I can make you this nice 3/4 inch clear maple drawer box, dovetailed, blah, blah, blah. Well, we can give you this on the other end. There's this plywood drawer box that your other furniture has in it. You see the difference? Yeah, but do I really need that?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's definitely a common occurrence. I mean, I think it's just an overall kind of thing. Overall people, not our clients, because if they're not of this mindset, they never become a client. But I think just people in general aren't willing to spend enough time or money. Not even time; it's not their time, but they're not willing to spend enough money on something. Their budgetary expectations, are way too low.
Yeah.
For a custom piece of furniture.
So especially like infrastructure items, I would say they don't want to concern themselves with that.
No, they only care about what you see.
But there's all sorts of there's plenty of areas.
Even like hardware,
Yeah.
decorative hardware. There's a big difference between a $5 piece of hardware and a $25 piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I always used to tell clients for like interior door hardware, like you're going to be touching this every single day.
Right.
You have a quick set. I have quick set upstairs. You have a quick set knob on your front door. It feels like shit. You have a piece of Rocky Mountain hardware. It's a whole different realm.
And We experience that all the time, don't we? And the times that clients let us pick out the hardware, they always are really impressed with it.
Yeah.
And then they see the difference in cost isn't that much at all.
No, and even if it is, it's worth it. It's not
that's what I mean.
Not
it's like the value's there.
Right.
Is what I should have said. Yeah, they don't spend enough time or money on those things. And I don't know. I mean, there seems to be, I would say they don't spend enough time on proper planning. They want something and then you give them a drawing and you say, well, you see how this isn't going to work because you wanted something that's 60 inches and your room's only 100 inches wide. And now you can't get around this piece without moving this chair out of the way. And I think those are, we look at them as opportunities for us in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect the client to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's just their ignorance. And I don't mean ignorance in a negative connotation.
No. But it's good when we walk into a situation like that because it allows us to sort of gain a little bit more control over the input of the job and then the direction. We can build trust with the client.
Yeah, when you're first meeting with someone, you're going through all this like you're in like the proving ground where you need to have those opportunities to say, well, no, it's actually like this. So they start to see like, oh, wow, I can actually trust these people and they know what they're talking about. And if you come in and the client has the whole thing designed, what the hell they need you for? They might as well just go have some guy down the street make it.
Chico.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, we know Chico. If you knew Chico like I
don't know that one. You got this next one?
Oh, about air conditioning?
No, that was 3 questions ago.
Oh.
You read that one.
Do you work with veneer? If so, is a vacuum press worth the money? John, Trinity Tradesman on Instagram. I have to say, I'm getting pretty good with the diction lately. Must be the vitamins I'm taking.
Must be the 62 years of practice.
Trinity Tradesman.
Not 62.
59.
1962. Short answer, no and yes. So, I mean, not that we haven't worked with veneer, but we don't regularly work with veneer or typically work it into jobs. But if you are, then a vacuum press is definitely worth it.
Yeah. We've used a vacuum press before. We don't own one. It makes the job so much easier.
Yeah, and there's
better.
there's a lot you can do with it. Bent laminations, stuff
Forms,
like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's another one of those things.
If we had $1,500 laying around, we'd grab one of those too.
Yeah, and a nice
5
dedicated
by 10 bag.
space for it is nice, so you don't have to unroll it and all that other junk. I like working with veneers at times because it gives you a chance to use some different types of wood that you wouldn't necessarily get to put into a job. But mostly, for me, it's been like accent wood and things like that, like some drawer faces or something like that.
Yeah, it's a good way to work a figured wood into a job.
Yeah,
and you don't have to worry about the workability and the cost as much, because you don't want to be planing bird's eye maple all day. No.
And I mean, if you had a big enough job, a decent size, like a kitchen or a room full of furniture kind of thing, that vacuum press would pay for itself. That very first job.
Then the next job is free.
Yeah, I like that math.
Yeah. You have a real good job. You get a Zeta P2 and a vacuum bag.
And a woodpecker square.
You could use it as a doorstop.
Yeah. Oh.
What features would you want
They're not going to send me anything now.
In your dream. Not bringing any of that shit into the shop. What features would you want in your dream workbench? I'm building mine now. It's from Nathan at Tree of Life Woodworking on Instagram.
I'm a little envious that Nathan is building his dream workbench.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something both you and I would like to do.
Yeah.
And it's not that I have a bad bench because I spent like $1,100 on my bench
Yeah, your bench is nice.
20 years ago. And it was simple economics. That even though that was a lot of money back then, it still is. The idea of having to build it, because you're not going to just half-ass your bench.
No.
You're going to build it, and it's going to be all the bells and whistles, and you're going to take time to, cut all the joinery because it's a lifetime thing. So I said, let me cut myself off at the pass here and just buy this so I don't spend 2 months and $3,000 making what I could get here for $1,100. Not the same bench, of course, but a bench that served me well for 20 years now and will keep going.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and a lot of, even the material cost is a lot. I would definitely want, a couple of those twin screw vices, the ones that, will cant and stuff like that. Sliding dead man. I mean, you want the whole nine, everything.
Yeah.
Dogs,
Yeah.
square dog holes, round dog holes, for holdfasts.
Like an end vice.
Oh, yeah, face vice and an end vice. And,
How do you feel about the tray on the back?
I mean, I use it. My bench is too small. It's too fucking small.
Yeah.
Even with that extension I put on it.
Yeah.
You need a big bench because you need a place to put things.
Yeah, I wish my bench was bigger too.
And yours is about twice the size of mine.
Well, I use the tray too, but it's like the tray is like the dining room table. If the tray wasn't there, would I miss it? Is the question. Or do you just put stuff in there because it's there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I think you'd be putting it. The good thing is it gets it out of the way at least.
Yeah.
If it's not tall, your work can go over top of it.
Yeah. I always have like a couple of pieces of sandpaper in there. Errant screws I'll slide off into the tray there. Till it's maybe a small tape measure. But yeah, I like everything you said. What kind of wood would you
That's the least of my concerns.
start with? Would you be using it in an artistic fashion, the woods?
Maybe a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see like adding some dark colored accents to things.
Yeah,
The vices and maybe that. But the top I'd probably want nice and clean and clear.
Yeah, I'd be more concerned with functionality and not the aesthetic, nice joinery and stuff. But like Scan Woods, like his new bench, that's just, he's been working on the thing for like months and months.
That's
It's
what
insane
happens
with these lambs, tongues, hand car, and it's beautiful. But the first time I chop into it with my chisel, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
That's what I was about to say. You see, I mean, I'm pretty much a work a day kind of guy. Like I don't want to drill into my bench, but I've done that.
If I have to, I will.
And then I'll go back and there's a couple of areas where there's actually like an inch plug in the top of my bench where I drilled something. But so that's what happens. And you're right. I wouldn't want to make it so nice that I would be afraid to mar it up because it's a work bench.
Yeah, you don't want to worry about getting finish on it or glue.
Right.
Or, you could get glue on there, but then you got to get the glue off.
Yeah.
And it's going to leave a blemish.
Yeah.
You get something metal with glue on it and you get a blue spot. I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I just can't see spending that much time on it.
You like the idea of cabinets underneath the bench?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'd probably spend more time trying to figure out how I was going to size and arrange those things than anything else.
Yeah, I think, bench is pretty simple. You don't need, you need good work holding and nice flat, heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy is one of the most important
Yeah.
parts.
I'd love to see some photos of the Dream Bench,
Yeah.
especially as it's coming along.
Mm-hmm.
And get a little bit jealous. All right, Tommy's Custom Shop on Instagram. Tommy wants to know, what are your favorite materials to work with, and what's your favorite build of all time?
I'm yawning like crazy. Favorite materials to work with? Wood.
Most woods? All woods?
I'm being
Snarky?
yeah. I don't know if I found my favorite yet. Because I like cherry a lot, but the burning drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I like white oak a lot, but the splintering drives me crazy. Maple's nice, but it's just a little too hard. And walnut and sapele, the dust bothers me. So I don't know. I haven't found a favorite yet.
Yeah. I've only had a chance to work on it in a limited fashion, but real mahogany is it. Once when I worked on it for that guitar body, one of the first things I thought was, now you know why it's all gone.
Yeah.
Because the workability on it is so high. It just, you have sharp tools, you just can go through it like it's so much softer than it is in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. And it gives you a nice soft glow if you finish it with, oil and wax. I like that. It's not my favorite looking as far as using the wood itself as part of the design, but it's my favorite to work with.
Mm-hmm. Favorite build of all time?
God, that's it's not true 100% of the time, but it's almost always the one I'm working on.
Yeah, it's that's one of those things where you can't even remember everything.
I forget half the things that I've done.
It's I'm sure there's people out there that have one standout thing where they're like, this was my magnum opus, but I don't know.
And we're very critical too. So
so it's hard. Every job is, you leave a little bit unsatisfied at the end.
Like we would have wanted to do it differently. That door came out really well.
Yeah.
But there's still like little things on there. And for me, it's that we don't always get to see the stuff we do in its best light in the home, because like that door, we left it there on leaning against the wall, and then we saw a picture of it installed by the GC, but it still had the wood in there. It didn't have the glass light.
Yeah, yep.
There's bags of plaster. It's
and
it's not a staged photo.
The beauty in these things is actually using them. It's not, they only mean so much when they're just sitting there. The real value is in using it.
Right.
A kitchen looks nice, but it's in using the kitchen. It's not just when it's just sitting there looking at it. Then it's really worthless. What's that worth? Just, okay, hey, it looks nice.
Yeah. We do take function into things really high up on the list. Like even those confessionals, the function on the priest side, we really spent a lot of time and effort designing that area of the job.
Yeah, hopefully they're using them now.
Oh, yeah. We better call Father Al and see what he's up to.
Yeah.
People getting in there.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Because we could just call and check, make sure he's got all the controls working and everything.
Yeah.
That's
make sure they lose the skeleton keys. I got one here from Bryce, Waffle Beaver on Instagram.
That's the best name.
Yeah, one of the guys that we met on Clubhouse. What is the next thing that you guys would like to learn? Doesn't have to be woodworking related.
Wow, that's a good one. You have anything off the top of your head?
Well, with this job coming up, I definitely like to learn how to do some welding.
Oh, yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah, welding's cool. Metalworking and all that stuff. I don't know. I think this is gonna sound.
You're done. You're done learning.
Oh God, no! I mean, this is what happens though as you get older. It becomes more daunting. It's technology has become a little bit daunting because it changes so fast.
Changing for all of us though.
I know. It's like but most of the time for me, I'm happy with like, 3 or 4 operating systems ago. Like we didn't need to improve Catalina. I was fine with Catalina. I don't know why I got something else now. I would say I would like to maybe, not now, but in the future, learn golf.
I know a guy that could teach you.
Yeah, because I've gone out on the golf course with friends at times, and it's just a great experience being on those beautiful landscape places. And just, it's because because I'm not heavily involved in scoring the game, I just found it really relaxing. And drive around the car, you have a few beverages, you're smacking this ball around. I would like to be good enough to go out with other people.
And not be a hindrance.
Right, and not be that guy.
Rob's balls in the woods again.
Yeah, but I can't see myself doing that until like I'm really not working anymore.
Yeah. Well,
whenever that happens.
Well, no, I was going to say we had somebody that,
yeah,
would like to just take some time off and go golf. Which
right,
must be nice.
Because it seems to be a very possessing sort of thing.
Oh, by the way, I got a golf tournament next week. I got a golf tournament tomorrow. I'm gonna be out for 2 days.
It's in Scotland.
Yeah.
What about you? Welding? Anything else on?
It's a long list, and it's always bouncing around.
Yeah.
The flavor of the moment is welding. I'll see if Manny will let me use the welder a little bit when we're building that wine cabinet.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could stake claim to a couple of welds on there.
Yeah. Manny recommended I go to Harbor Freight, pick up a welder.
How dare he?
No, I'm just kidding. Manny wouldn't suggest that.
Yeah, I know. Manny's he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
He's going to scoff when he hears that.
Yeah, I know.
I like this one from Tom McGuire, one of our patrons, local guy. Do you set a chair outside and go Benny watching, and do Benny watching on the weekends at home?
Oh, I'm sure Jeff's going to have the same answer as me. We dislike most people so much that the last thing we want to do,
go out and look for people?
Yeah, is go watch them. I hide from those people.
Yeah. So I'm sure 99.99% of you have no clue what a Benny is.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
We live at the beach in New Jersey, what most people refer to as the Jersey Shore. This is the northernmost part of it, so it stretches this is really the beginning of it, from Highlands all the way down to Cape May. And Bennies are, like the term for people who come from out of town to come to the beach. And it stands for Bayonne, Elizabeth, Newark, New York, because that's like where the main places where people used to come from.
Which are all north of here.
Right, yeah, North Jersey and New York. And, the Bennies are stigmatized and...
deservedly so for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, a lot of times. But, they do prop up the local economy during the summer, so, you can only...
It's like any area that relies on this seasonal influx to prop up their economy. And I'm willing to bet that all the locals, they have this distaste for them, even though, they need them.
I mean, they're certainly not propping up anything in Middletown, not our town, but the beach towns, the resort towns.
Right. We're not directly impacted by
No, they're certainly not buying our goddamn furniture.
Just, they create traffic. And
so for us, they're more of a problem, because they're not coming here and spending money. They're going to Seabright and, you guys, I'm sure, heard of Seaside and Wildwood and Cape May and those
Yeah.
big Atlantic City. That's where,
So
there's
they just
beaches up and down the whole.
Yeah, they use our roadways and, they'll stop and eat and maybe create some havoc somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to the end of my beer here.
Yeah, my opinion's changing as
Yeah, it's
it's getting to be just too
a
much.
little laborious to finish, isn't it? That's not exactly
Typical.
what a recommendation.
Yeah,
is.
this beer's great, except I heard I had a really hard time finishing it. What do we got here? Oh, from Brian, a repeat offender.
All right. What improvement would you like for the shop if money was no object? Also, if money mattered. Now, Brian, he's a Great Point Woodworks on Instagram.
If money was no object, I'd like a dedicated finishing area. Big area for sanding and finishing. Spraying. And if money mattered, and it does. Let's see. What would I'm still hung up on that line boring machine.
Mm-hmm.
Want a line boring machine because
Yeah.
we get a kitchen drilling all those holes. It takes a long fucking time, and you inject human error into that, and all of a sudden you end up with shelves that are a little bit. It brings down the the perceived sort of quality of the kitchen because it's even the cheapest kitchen you find, the shelves are all flat.
Yeah.
So it's just like a bug I got in my ass.
I agree with you as far as the finishing room. That's something I've dreamt of for the longest time. And that was before I even thought about spraying.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea of being able to get a piece out of the shop, the fabrication end of the shop, where there's not going to be any more dust on it and stuff like that.
And just getting it out of the way because finishing is mostly downtime.
Right.
So we put it over there, we put a coat of oil on it, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we can still work over here.
Right.
It just
want to clean it once and put it away.
You become hesitant to cut things and it takes up time that doesn't need to.
Yeah, yeah. My dream for the area we have now would be another building, like sort of to create a L, and with like maybe a car park kind of area. Not a car, but like a
breezeway.
Yeah, breezeway, exactly, to join the two areas. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, with big double door, put things on a cart, wheel it into the,
Then a third building, eventually into the back 40.
That's where we keep the Kool-Aid.
That's for the itinerant workers. That'll be a bunkhouse upstairs.
Get to sanding.
Yeah. What about, if money mattered, what would you like for the shop? Wow. I mean,
we got the Edge banner coming, so that's off the list.
Yeah. I would still like a reliable belt sander, a wide belt sander. I mean, we have the Woodmaster, which is finicky, would be the nicest thing I could say about it. But I mean, like, imagine having a time saver or like a machine.
I don't even know. They still even make time savers?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. But no, I always think about that because I always see time savers. I'm like, I don't even think they fucking make those anymore.
We don't really even have the infrastructure for it because
most of them are three-phase.
Three-phase. You need
big
another
dust
dedicated. We'd need a different compressor.
60-gallon compressor or something.
Yeah, so that's probably not even doable. Whereas the line bore, that's something we could actually have and use and keep.
It's just one of those repetitive, mundane tasks that if you could just go and drill
Yeah.
one side, flip the board around, and then drill the other. I mean, it would just be such a breeze. It's like the hinge boring machine. You know, we haven't even used it.
No.
We just messed around with it. But
Yeah.
you know what? When we got a job where we got to drill a bunch of doors, it's there. It's ready to go.
Yeah, we
and it's going
still
to save
do it
us
by
a
hand.
bunch of headache.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Do you ever use stains or tints in your finish? Or would you just prefer to use darker or lighter wood to achieve a similar effect? That's one of our patrons, Miles, known as Eat, Drink, Wine Guy on Instagram.
So we typically try and steer the client towards changing the species of the wood. But we do use, Rubio Monocoat, and we use the dark tung oil from Real Milk Paint.
Mm-hmm.
So, we definitely do use, stains and tints.
Yeah. We've dabbled in both those areas for sure. First choice, as Jeff said, let's use a different species.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the same project, we like to use 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 different species to achieve that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Most often we're asked to, when we're using a tint, it's to create something that's not really a natural color.
Yeah.
Like blackish, or on the opposite end, something that's almost white. And so there's nothing you can do about that. If that's really what the client is looking for, there's no way around it. So no matter how much we dig our heels in, we have to either learn how to use these things, accept it, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, we're kind of purists, but I mean, there's times where I like things that are like a white oak with like a greenish kind of stain on or something could be cool. There's definitely times where it's nice.
We came across that Rubio, like teak or almost teak? What do they call it?
Look Ipe.
Look eBay. I was close. Man, do I sound like an old
Like
man
teak.
now?
Look Ipe.
And it looked nice on a couple of different species. I mean, we were
Yeah.
both like, wow, this is the goofiest name thing.
Yeah. Well, we ended up going with the Royal, it's called.
Yeah.
But the Look Ipe is pretty close.
Yeah.
It has that kind of shellac kind of look. Like an orange, ambery orange kind of.
Yeah. But not in a false sort of way, which you
No.
might expect. It was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that cherry piece I can't wait to go up there and put the handles on, and hopefully they'll have the floors finished soon.
Yeah, the door.
See the door.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little trip. We're going to have to figure to have some lunch or something so we can make it a nice trip so we don't just drive up there and drive back.
Probably stop in Newark.
There you go.
So we have our last question here. This will be the question of the week. We'll be doing this on the Patreon, so you can, if you go down to the description, you can find out how to become part of that. This is from one of our patrons, Adam Pothast, Adam P. We were talking about like dream projects a couple weeks ago. Like, what would our dream project be? And we kind of had a few different versions of the same question over the past couple months. So Adam asks, instead of thinking of dream projects, I was wondering, someone just wanted a Green Street piece for their home, not commercial establishment. What would they get? More specifically, what would they get if their budget was under $5,000? And what would they get if their budget was under $20,000? All other decisions, material size, etc., are up to you. So we'll talk about that. And I guess we're calling the Patreon show the question of the week.
All right. I like that. So that brings us to
Thoughts on beer of the week. I think it's probably the first time you're going to see that we both still have beer in the glass.
Yeah.
This one started out a solid A for me. And now it's like, I don't even really want
There's
to drink
too
the
much
rest.
going on.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if you don't really eat this stuff, and neither do I for the most part. But like something like sweet and sour chicken from Chinese food places. Like you have those first couple of pieces and you go, man, it's pretty good. But then that fourth piece, it starts trailing off real fast, and you can't eat a whole plate of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's this It tastes like a fake donut to me. Like like if they were like, yeah, this is like donut flavored popcorn or something.
Oh,
Like that's kind of
that's
what
good.
it tastes like to me.
Well, Mexican coffee funnel cake. I'm going to take one more sip.
I'm gonna
See-
finish this off.
There's some sediment there in the bottom of the glass.
It it's becoming sort of artificial tasting to me.
Yeah, on that note,
The lack of carbonation is a little off-putting.
it reminds me of like a breakfast cereal almost,
Yeah, like a cinnamon toast crunch.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So they really,
No, you know what it tastes like? Waffle crisp. You probably never had that.
No. So they really hit the Mexican coffee funnel cake thing.
Whatever the hell that is.
It just wasn't. It wasn't up our street, as they say in Britain.
I could like split one with somebody, but
Yeah.
like I couldn't have another beer. Like not
No.
even a different beer.
No.
It's just like my stomach
Too
is
much.
a little bit like
It's too much. So, I'm gonna give it a qualified thumbs up.
What's
because
the ABV on that? Because it tastes a little bit boozy.
It is. It's
8%.
No, it's not. It's 5.5.
Ooh, it's definitely a little hot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can taste this.
Oh, that's the chili.
The peppers.
Yeah.
Originally I thought I said 8.5, but it's just 5.5.
That's pretty low.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a qualified thumbs up because I wouldn't want to give it a thumbs down. I couldn't do that.
It was good. You can't expect to put those down like it's like a Coors Light.
Right. When you buy this beer, you got to go into it knowing this isn't your standard.
Yeah.
What would it be, a Pilsner or something like
Yeah.
that? It's called Mexican coffee funnel cake.
Yeah.
So it's your own fault.
It's no,
if you think it's too complex.
It's no waffle sauce.
No, it's not. What was that? Was it called waffle sauce?
It was like a pecan something. It was terrible.
So this was better than that one. But we may give that brewery another shot.
Yeah. I mean, I like the direction. I just too much
Yeah.
in the end. Maybe
Yeah.
12-ounce can would have been fine.
Yeah, or like if that would have been fun on one of those flights.
Yeah, like
Where
at the end.
Yeah, where you have just 4, what are those, 3 or 4 ounces? Those little glasses.
Yeah, probably 4, 3.
Yeah. So, all right.
Well, I want to thank our gold tier patrons: Jerry Greenan, David Murphy, Manny Sirianni, Dustin Fair, Adam Podhas, David Shoemaker, and Colin Lai.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see
you guys.
you all in the question of the week.
Yeah.
And we'll see all of you next week, episode 41.
Thank you. Take care of yourselves.
Adios.